Book friends, I'm back. I just want to start another reading vlog, and I think what I'm going to do for this vlog is I'm just going to see how much can I read in a week, because last week was busy and crazy. I was at ALA and I want to just see how much I can read in a week. So I have a couple of goals for this week. I want to catch up on my podcast, which I'm so far behind on, and I want to also work out, exercise, do all those things, craft a little bit more this week, but I also do want to use my spinning wheels. So I'm going to start this week off listening to some podcasts because I am so far behind. I'm actually, the minute I finish this, I'm going to go walk on the treadmill for a little bit. I went to go see Supergirl today with my dad. It was really, really fun. I finished watching Legally Blonde. So we are going to pick a big chunky fantasy book or fantasy romance that I'm going to start with. And that is what we're going to start with first. Because normally during the school year, I don't really read my fancy editions because I don't want to get them ruined. So we're going to pick one to start with. We have a lot of options. Okay, so we're going to start with Kissed by the Gods. Let me go get that book. Well, I think I'm going to start and I'm going to read the first 100 pages of this, or actually maybe I'll just read to part 1 maybe. Let me see. I can see if there's parts. There is parts. Maybe I'll just read maybe I'll just read to part 1, or maybe I'll just read part 1 to part 2. There's a little bit of a page break here. So maybe I'll read, let me just see how far this is. Because sometimes, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the first 142 pages of this, and maybe I'll start that tonight and see. Survivor Rebel Weapon. Okay, so I think I'm going to read the first little bit of this. This will be my big chunky book. This is actually just a regular book I bought. People were talking about it. It got picked up. So Kissed by the Gods, Eternal Wars. This is going to be my first book. I'm probably going to start this tonight after I walk on the treadmill. And I'm going to probably read the whole part 1. And then I'm going to go back to my other book. But yeah, so that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with Kissed by the Gods. And then I'm going to catch up on my podcast. I am a little bit behind on that. And this was a book on my immediate TBR, so I do want to clarify that. Oh crap, I didn't add one thing to my spinning wheel. Okay, let me just book on my summer TBR. Okay, so now I'm going to roll again, and this is going to be a book that is a little bit easier to travel, or just some fun things. I have some arc spinning wheels. And I just have some books on my immediate TBR card. So yeah, we're gonna shuffle these a little bit so they're not, they're not where they should be. And whatever gets picked, I'm gonna read. And I am okay DNFing. But I didn't put any big books on here. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna read the Hocus Pocus Handbook. Okay. So let me get that. That was a quick book I got from ALA. Or let me go get that. This is the book I'm going to read probably more tomorrow. But this is another book by Anne Aguirre. And I'm excited for this one. It comes out in September. I have read books in this series before. She was stolen from one world. He is trapped in another. Finding each other may cost them everything. Okay, this one sounds cool. So I'm going to read these two. And then I am going to try to focus on my podcast, but if I do have a little bit of listening time tomorrow morning when I go for my bike ride, I may listen to Love Spells Trouble, just because I do have a little bit of time, and I do have an e-arc of this. This did come from ALA as well, so that is kind of my tentative plan right now. But yeah, I'm going to go walk on the treadmill for a little bit, at least 30 minutes, and listen to my podcast, and I will update you tonight with my thoughts on Kissed by the Gods. That will be my focus tonight. I would love to read 142 pages and give you my thoughts. I sometimes struggle with fantasy romance, I'm going to be honest, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So these will be the books you're going to hear about, and I will talk to you guys when I have some sort of update for you. Bye, bye, friends. Chickens, I'm back. I did wind up getting a lot done today, but I didn't wind up updating a lot. So I did wind up doing some book shopping. I went to Target and I picked up White Lights by Laura and Kate because I saw it and it has pretty edges. I also wound up making progress on my podcast I was listening to, because I'm really trying to catch up on my podcast this week, because eventually I'm going to fall behind again. And I did fall really far behind during the Amazing Readathon and Escape. So I'm listening to their episodes. Actually, they're having a Google Meet today that I'm going to attend. There was a lot of behind the scene changes in this past year for this show, like a lot of changes. One of the hosts left and I want to support them. So I've been catching up on that. I also reorganized all my bookshelves, so I found all my special editions and more books came, so I did some of that. I am reading 2 books. I'm reading Kissed by the Gods by Kate Rogan, which I'm going to talk about first. I am about 142 pages into this. I'm loving this, like, quite a bit. This is very, very fun. This is just the normal edition, but it has edges and a really, really pretty cover. So basically you follow a main character and she has some type of magic. And basically one of her brothers was taken, one of her brothers was sent to the mine camps, and it was very, very tragic. And then the day that they come to take her other brother, she basically kills all of the people that are coming to get them. And her parents die. Everyone dies except for her little brother, and her older brother. Everyone else dies. So they go on the run, and then she gets taken by, the kingdom. Her little brother and her older brother are okay, as far as we know. She's separated from them. And then she kind of gets brought to this place where she is believed to be an Altor. And this is someone that has magical powers, blessed by the gods. And she's basically put in this environment for, a kill to the death, and she currently has survived, and that's all I got to so far, but I'm 25% into it, and I am really enjoying it. But I know that I'm gonna have to have a book that I can travel with. This I'm not gonna travel with when I go out and such, so I am really liking this quite a bit. I got my tabs. I'm super enjoying this book quite a bit. I watched Legally Blonde today. I'm watching Superman because I saw the other movie the Supergirl this weekend, and I wanted to catch up. So now I'm going to try to get up to page 100 in the Hocus Pocus Handbook by Anne Aguirre. This is my book that I can easily throw in my backpack, and right now I'm about 30 pages in, but I don't feel like I understand enough to really give you a clear update. Honestly, right now, if I'm going to choose a book to focus on, it's probably going to be this one because I am really liking it, but I do want to get through this as well, and this is a little bit more lighthearted. My issue sometimes when I read romantasy is I get a little bit disconnected, but currently I'm really liking this book. So I'm going to read I'm on page 30. I'm going to read to page 103, and I'm going to give you an update, see how I feel, give you a time check, and see what I'm feeling. But that's where we are with this one right now, and I really am liking this quite a bit. I also was catching up on booktube. I'm getting some book recommendations. I'm doing all the things, and yeah, so I'm gonna go put this on hold for a little bit, and I will come back to you when I have read 100 pages in this, and then I'll see how I'm feeling. I'll see do I want to tackle this first or do I want to read this first. We will see. But I will talk to you when I have read 100 pages of this to give you guys an update. Bye, book friends. Book check-ins, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up getting to page 100. It is about 9:30 in the morning. Into the Hocus Pocus Handbook. I'm liking this. I don't think I'm loving this. I think that was the same issue I had with Anne Aguirre's other book that I read. But basically you follow this character named Thea, and she's basically a changeling. She's kind of been stuck in this fae world. She's kind of been abandoned by all her parents, and she kind of does a little bit of a trick, and she winds up getting tricked into marrying this guy. And then the guy winds up running away, and she winds up having to team up with a cousin of the Winter Court to find the people that ran away. That's her husband. It's a little bit convoluted and a little bit confusing, and then every chapter starts off with a spell that they gave her, and I'm liking it. It's just not capturing my attention, but I have read 100 pages. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to read 100 pages of Kissed by the Gods, because I was really enjoying this when I was reading it. So I'm going to go read another 100 pages of this and then give you guys a time check. If I do go out with my mom, I'm probably going to bring this because it's easier to put in my backpack. But I am going to try to read 100 pages of this and just try to get back into the story because I was really enjoying it. We left off on her succeeding in something, and I think that some training is going to follow, and I am really liking this book. This book as a cozy fantasy is just a little bit too fast paced for me, I think. So I'm struggling with it a little bit, but I do want to keep reading it. So I'm going to read 100 pages of this, 100 pages of this, and give you an update. I also did wind up catching up on my 2 episodes of my podcast. I may just power through and finish the rest of it so I could go watch Into the Fading Twilight by Catherine Cowles, which just came out. I will attach a photo of that book here. I wanted to read this week, but I may pause for a second. So yeah, I'm gonna go read another 100 pages of this. It's rather chilly outside than I was expecting, so I might go read outside. But yeah, that is my plan. I will read another 100 pages of this and then I will give you an update. Bye, book friends. Dragons, I am back. I have some good news and I have some bad news. I did wind up going through all my Pango books, so I am pretty far into my podcast listening. Like, I listened to another complete episode. I've been doing Pango for so long, so I've just like kind of sorted. I got rid of the books I thought would never sell. I decreased a lot. If I could remember when I post this video, I'll link my Pango below because a lot of the books are now discounted a lot. I think I'm going to soft DNF the Hocus Pocus Handbook by Anne Aguirre. I have struggled with other books by her in the past, and I was hoping the whimsy of this may work. I may pick up the audio when it comes out. I think it comes out in September, so when I'm commuting, this may be a perfect book. I think I'm going to keep it too. I'm going to keep it on my shelves until I listen to it, but I am going to soft DNF this for the moment. But I am loving my Kiss by the Gods by Katie Rogan. Like, I really am. I'm about 50% into this, so I want to read another like 100 pages. But I'm loving this book. It's really working for me. You have a character that's like very like different. I like that. She's in like sort of like a military academy. There's a lot of rules for her that I'm liking. And I'm enjoying it. Like, I really can't say too much because I'm so far in that there's spoilers. But basically, she has a magic power. She's like this type of person. But no one has been this type of person, let alone where she's from. But let alone girls are not this. And she's kind of working with this guy that found her. There's also a connection back to her brother that is on the run. And I'm really liking this. So I'm going to go read another 100 pages of this. I was going to roll another book, but honestly right now I just want to focus on this. So I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to read like another 100 pages of this. And then after I finish this, I may do another book on my spinner wheel, but I really don't like reading 2 books at once. I do struggle with it. To be honest, that's not how I normally read. I would be listening to an audiobook, but I am focusing on that. So I think I may take a little bit of a reading break, go do my workout, listen to the podcast that I was in the middle of, and then come back when I have got up to page 358, when I've read another 100 pages of this. It is a little bit colder today, which is weird. It's been so hot, so like it's been colder, it's just been different, and I don't want to go for a bike ride. So I think I'm going to walk on the walking pad, listen to my podcast a little bit, and when I've read another 100 pages, I will give you an update. But I'm really captivated by this. Right now, there is no spice here. There's a lot of tension between our 2 characters. He's basically her like trainer, basically. She really is struggling with fighting, but because she has so much power, it's just like an interesting dynamic. We're getting a lot of found family with her crew that she's with. There's also the potential of like creatures in this world, but we haven't got there yet. I'm just liking it. I'm having a fun time, and I'm happy that I'm DNFing this because this was the book that I was not enjoying as much. So yeah, all right, I'll come back when I have an update for you. I'm gonna walk on the walking pad for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go read another 100 pages of this. I'm also watching Superman, which is a movie that I've never seen, so I probably should go back to that. I'm also just watching some booktube. But yeah, when I have read another 100 pages of this, I will give you an update. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, book friends. Hi dragons, I am back. It is Wednesday, and I did wind up getting a lot of reading done and a lot of like catching up. I have about 40 minutes left of my millennial podcast, which means I'm gonna decide if I'm probably gonna jump into the Fading Twilight at some point today because I am walking to town and stuff like that. But I may also decide to like finish listening to the MuggleCast stuff because they're off this week because it's a holiday. And I also haven't been listening to that podcast because of all the readathons I've been doing. I also started watching Project Hail Mary, and I want to restart it now that I understand. Like, I probably should like literally listen to the book, but I want to watch it while I have a little bit of downtime. I'm also on page 360 in Kissed by the Gods, and I'm loving this book like quite a bit. I'm really enjoying it. I sometimes struggle with romantasy books that are battle focused because I get bored really easily, and I really need to be listening to those. Like I remember I loved Onyx Storm so much because I was listening to it. So this book currently is not war based. I think it will become war based, but right now I'm liking all the interpersonal connections. I like that we're expanding the world a little bit. Like there's always something that's happening, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking our main characters. I'm loving the side characters, and I'm having a fun time. I don't like romantasy books where the only two characters in the story are our two love interests. I think the story lacks a little bit of something. I don't think it's as captivating to me or interesting to me, but I am really liking this one quite a bit, and my goal is to read part 3 and then read part 4. We did get two pretty big reveals. One I saw coming and one I didn't. So I'm really enjoying the story like quite a bit. We're also getting some more characters being introduced. There was also a novella that I'm probably going to buy and listen to when I'm done with this and when I'm done listening to Into the Fading Twilight. So yeah, I'm going to go read. It's also nice. It's supposed to be nice today, which means I could probably sit outside and read, which is nice. But yeah, I'm going to go read this next little section, and I'm going to try to watch like the first bit of Project Hail Mary, and maybe we'll read that this weekend. Also, all my books are here, which is exciting. I don't have any more books for you, so that was in another video. I got 183 books from this convention, which is insane to me, because I was a day behind, but we made it work. All right, so I'm gonna go read this section and give you an update when I can, and I will talk to you guys when I have an update. Right now it's about 8 o'clock, so I should have an update for you in a little bit, but I definitely will finish this book today. Definitely. And then we'll pick another book. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, book friends. Friends, I am back. Sorry, my camera got a little bit edited. But I did wind up getting up to, sorry, I'll go a little bit back. I got up to the last part, The Defiant, in Kissed by the Gods by Katie Rogan. I am really liking this. I don't know, I'm contemplating between being like a 4.5 star read. Like I think it could be a 5 at the end. I'm loving all the characters. I'm loving the plot twist. I will say this last bit will get more war focused, and I definitely struggle with war focused romantasies. It's just a trait that I have, or if I'm reading them I really need to be listening to the audiobook. So I'm gonna read the last little bit of this because it was not really a war book, but I definitely felt that when I was reading Onyx Storm I felt like I needed the audio to really enjoy it. But I am really liking the story. I'm so happy I picked it up. I want to go back and read the prequel. And I really like our main character. There was a very big part of this book that really hit, like letting go of your family, letting go of your identity, and kind of becoming like almost like insulated and not really fighting for anyone but yourself. But what you're learning about all of these characters throughout the story, and you do get a lot of people, which I do like because you get a lot of different point of views, is they're all fighting for their family, whether they know it, whether they see them again. There's also a lot of like world building that I could say could be a little bit confusing, but just keep going because it does all get explained. Everything is kind of like interconnected, and I'm super enjoying it. So I'm gonna go read the last little bit of this, and then I don't know what I should be able to finish this before I go because I'm on page 468, and then I have to get up to page, like, I read like 50 more pages. I should be able to finish this before I go to get my hair done. I'm gonna pick another book, probably an ARC that I can like stick in my backpack, or I'll just take one of my shorter books. I have like a graphic novel on my Kindle too, so I have some options, but I do want to go finish this. I'm also watching Project Hail Mary. I'm really happy that I restarted that movie because I was watching and I got to like the 40-minute mark and I was like, I really need to go back and rewatch this. I really should have listened to the audiobook first because I feel like when I read The Martian made a lot more sense for me after reading the book because very, very science heavy stories. I need to be in the character's head and I'm not in his head. So I'm going to finish watching it. I have about 44 minutes left in my podcast, and I don't know if I am going to just catch up on all of the stuff that wasn't real, because the podcast I other listened to is Mugglecast, and they've been doing a reread of Harry Potter, and I just fell so far behind that I really didn't reread, and I was just picking out the episodes that I want. But I would like to, follow up when they do read Deathly Hallows. So And I have very, very conflicting thoughts about the author, but I really do like these people. I've been following them for like 10 years, so I will continue to support them, and I have been following their other show. So yeah, that is where we are. I don't know what I'm going to do, but hopefully I might save a couple of them because I do have to do a little bit of book organization like up on my top of my closet, and I haven't done that yet, and I can't listen to an audiobook when I do that. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go read part 4, The Defiant, and then I'm gonna give you guys an update on my thoughts, what I want to read next. Does this book get 5 stars? Has it been the 5-star I've been hunting for? I have no idea, but I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, book friends. Chickens, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up finishing Kissed by the Gods by Katie Rogan. I'm gonna give this book 4.75 stars, or 4.5. I had such a fun time with this book. I read it so quickly. I love the characters. I really had a fun time. Like, I enjoyed it. The pacing was a little bit off at points. I felt like this book jumped a little bit. This book does take place over a long period of time. I would say you definitely need to pay attention to like where it is in the story. But I had a great time. I liked all the characters. There was a twist at the end that I did not see coming. The world building was very, very slow, but I think some of the world building was a little bit like unclear. Like, I wish it was a little bit more clarity of like what all of these world building elements were. I kind of felt the same exact way when I'm reading was Of Venom and Vengeance. The world building and the mechanics were a little bit like not as clear, but there is a prequel novella that I am going to read that may help out with my issues, and I don't know if I would recommend you read that first, but I really do like the characters in this like quite a bit. There was 2 twists at the end that I did not see coming, and I really want to know when book 2 is going to come out. But I'm so happy that I picked this one up. So that was the book on my actual TBR. It was on my my read one of my fantasy books. So like I had this on my actual TBR. Let me move that so I don't forget. But I'm gonna pick one from my other wheel just because I am running some errands, and I'm not gonna bring like a big fantasy book with me. So let me move this while I remember. Yeah. So I did read that, which is good. That was one of my thing, and now I have a wheel that just has like all of my little books that I have. Make sure I don't have any other one. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna read this. It does have all the books on my physical TBR, and it also has like random spins on my arc spinning wheel. So we're gonna see what gets chosen. I also do have my EX on here that I did want to get to. So let's see what gets picked. Okay, what feeds the dead? Let me see. What feeds the dead? Okay, let me go see what book that was, and then I'll report back. So it was That Which Feeds Us by Keila Kendall. I am going to stick this in my backpack. I haven't read anything by this author, but I also think I'm going to stick in my Dungeon Crawler Carl graphic novel. So I have like 2 things to read. This I got at BookFest, I think. And it came out in May. A native Hawaiian teen travels to a island resort in search of her twin in this YA speculative filler. So I think I'm going to bring both of these with me and see. I'm not really a horror girly, so I'm going to give this book a shot and see how I feel. But I do like twin stories, and I also need to read Dungeon Crawler Carl. I just started this. It's a graphic novel, so I think I'm going to bring these 2 books with me and then kind of see how I'm feeling. This was one that I just put on here because I saw that it was on my TBR cart. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably finish Dungeon Crawler Carl first. I'll probably restart this book, see if I could get this one off the TBR, and then I'll bring this one with me. Give it like 50 pages and see how I feel. It may be a book that I just put in a bin for my friends, but I would like to give it at least 50 pages because I did pick it up at a promotional event. So yeah, I'm going to go do these, go get my hair done, go run some errands. I am going to try to catch up on my podcast, and when I come back, I can kind of start an audiobook. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, book friends. Dragons, I'm back. I did finish Dungeon Crawler Carl. I went and got my hair done. I ran some errands. I think what I'm going to do for tomorrow, maybe tonight if I do decide to walk on the walking pad, I'm going to try to catch up on all the MuggleCast like parts that I didn't listen to because I'm so close, and they're actually off this week. So if I catch up now, I'll feel like I'm actually ahead for the rest of the month. So this is the Dungeon Crawl and Call. It's the graphic novel. At this point, I have this series in every single format. I have a couple of physical books. I have an audiobook, but I wanted to see if I even wanted to give the audiobook a shot because this is a very popular series, and I do struggle physically reading it because I know it's very, very battle heavy. So I knew I was going to listen to the audiobook, but I wanted to have a little bit of context before I went into that. And I saw this when I went to Barnes & Noble. So I read it. I liked it. I gave this book 3.75 stars. I really do like the art style. Now I almost want to do a vlog where I read like very, very popular things that I've been hearing about on booktube. I'm also like very, very far behind on booktube. I'm at like the beginning of June right now. So a lot of the books I'm hearing about I haven't heard about before because they came out recently, and I'm just enjoying it. But I had a fun time with this one. I think I liked probably the first half a little bit more. As we got to the battle sequences, I think that will work very, very well for me in audio. And a lot of people said it's a very, very passive listen. So I gave this book 3.75 stars, and it is off my physical TBR. I just bought it, and yeah, I'm gonna keep it for the moment. All right, so now I need to pick a new book. I did wind up going back and editing my wheels. I really wanted to focus this first half of the month on everything on my graphic and on my physical TBR. There are other stuff on my TBR cart, but I wanted to focus on what was on it. So I'm gonna roll this wheel first, make sure everything is still there. All of these things are on my physical TBR, or they're the ARC spinner wheels or like a couple of e-ARCs that I really, really wanted. So I'm going, or books on my summer TBR, which I have a lot of. So, okay. Oh, ooh. Okay, we got random ALA spin. Okay, I also have to take off one. Have to take off the Hocus Pocus handbook because I DNF'd that. Okay, let me go get that spinner wheel ready, and then we're gonna spin it, and then we're gonna see what we're reading, and then we'll see what gets chosen. If a big high fantasy gets chosen, I might just choose something else to read like with it, but let me just see what gets chosen. All right, I'll be right back. Hi Big Dragons, I am back. I just wanted to wrap up this vlog. I was actually editing it and realized I probably had enough footage. So the next vlog will be a weekend reading vlog where I see how much I could read in a weekend, where I don't have a lot of plans, which is exciting. So yeah, you guys will see that. I just finished Dungeon Crawl and Call, the graphic novel. I have a bunch of other books I'm in the middle of reading, but I'm gonna make that a full vlog. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for following along on my summer reading journey. Let me know in the comments what is a book that you read this week. I would love to know, or let me know in the comments what is a book you loved recently and was your recent favorite. I would love to know. Bye book friends.